Have you ever asked the question, how can I pay less tax when I'm retired? Or are there any strategies that I should be paying attention to either right before retirement or in retirement? If you've thought about those questions, then watch this video because Tim's going to share a client example. Of course, the names and the specifics have changed, but the result is they were able to maintain the same lifestyle that they had before retirement and maintain that into retirement. And then they also were able to reduce the amount of tax that they paid. And then they increased the amount that they're able to give to heirs and then also to the charities that they care about. Now, the one thing to be aware of with this video is that their net worth is significant. So this couple wasn't too worried about running out of money because of what they have saved. And the reason they came to us was because they knew there were some things they weren't doing related to tax planning and investment strategies and just making sure it's all coordinated with the income plan and maximizing the estate plan. But please don't focus just on the numbers. Really, there's strategies that Tim's going to share that can help you whether you've got 500K or 5 million. So look for the examples and the strategies and maybe even the principles and not just the dollar amounts here. And if you watch this video and you want to plan like this, then reach out to us on streamlineplanning.com.
So you've done the math and you're feeling pretty good about heading into retirement, about making sure things last for as long as you're living. But you're also looking to optimize your plan for taxes and how do I maximize my tax benefits over my lifetime. We're going to look at a specific client example today of somebody who we walked through this process with. How do you optimize your plan for taxes? These are not real names, and this is a hypothetical example of what could be accomplished with the proper planning. So we'll take a look at that and see the pretty significant benefits for setting things up the right way and doing ongoing annual tax planning. My name is Tim Meisenheimer, and I'm one of the owners here at Streamline and excited to jump into this example with you. So we're going to look at two people, a married couple, John Krasansky and Emily Blint, and this is their scenario. They're going to retire this year is their goal. They're going to have one more year of income this year. Number two, they have about 8 million saved between their taxable accounts, their retirement accounts. It does include their home value. And they're looking for about $240,000 or $20,000 a month of living expenses in retirement. On top of that will be taxes. So that's the scenario. Let's take a look at their graph after plugging all of that in. A couple things to consider is we assume inflation when it comes to this $240,000 of annual living expenses, that's going to go up each year. We're using 3% inflation for this projection. For the investment accounts and what's saved in the different buckets. Let me actually show you the different buckets that they have right now. I'm going to move my face so you can see. There is a couple taxable accounts here, so about $900,000 between two taxable accounts, another $600,000 in cash. They're getting their buckets set up, short-term, medium-term, and long-term to get ready for retirement and help with sequence of returns risk. Then Emily has an IRA with Schwab. John has his 401k still since he's working a little bit this year. And then his rollover IRAs and Roth IRAs at Fidelity, their home value and their mortgage. So net worth is a little bit over 8 million there. So they have a couple 529 plans for their two children as well, which is just going to help with their college costs. So taking a look at their plan is overall, again, they're looking at the graph and they've already done this math themselves, but they came to us to take a look at what are the other things we may not be doing that we could be doing to increase the value of our plan or increase the predictability of it or pass on more money to our kids or give more money away. Those are all great questions that we're talking to people about. So there are 3 parts to this tax planning strategy of how do we minimize taxes over your lifetime. Taxes are one of anyone's biggest expense over their lifetime. So if you think about budgeting and what are the things in my budget I'm going to cut, taxes is probably the biggest one. So it makes sense to spend time on it, on how can we legally minimize what we're paying in taxes and not pay extra. And there's some significant things to retirement that you can do that really can impact your plan in a positive way. So for John and Emily, We're going to pull up their retire in 2024 scenario. Again, you see here, everything's pretty positive. They start out with 7.8 million in investable assets. By the time Emily is age 95, they have about 16 million. Again, there's a bunch of math going on in the background that's calculating this. I don't want to jump into all of that today. What's most important is what are the biggest needle movers when it comes to their taxes. First of all, they have one more year of working. And so what I'm going to do is pull up the tax graph.